Hello everyone, Mr. Martin here, and welcome to the video on Gale opposing viewpoints. Our learning objective is, by the end of this presentation, you will be able to utilize opposing viewpoints to effectively research and analyze multiple arguments concerning an issue. What sets opposing viewpoints apart from the other databases is that instead of focusing on a particular topic, such as science or biography, opposing viewpoints has some key categories that allow you to do a deep dive on a contentious issue and analyze the different viewpoints and arguments on how we as a society should approach and solve that issue. So those key categories that set opposing viewpoints apart are going to be featured viewpoints, infographics, and statistics. So let's just go ahead and look at those, see what they look like in the database itself. So I've already done a topic search for school uniforms. And remember, when we do a Gale search, we want to scroll down below that first article and look at all of what the database has to offer. And you can see that those four features that I pointed out are right here. We got featured viewpoints, we have viewpoints right here, we have infographics here, and statistics here. Everything else you'll find in the other databases as well. It's still worth looking at. I'm not telling you to skip them, but these are what set this apart. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Scrolling down, I can see some of the top hits from each one. Featured viewpoints. And I look at this. School uniforms promote sustainable consumption and relieve social pressure. This sounds like it's in favor of school uniforms. So during my research, I'm going to keep this in mind. And if I'm looking at arguments in favor of school uniforms, this is going to be one that I'm going to remember and keep in mind. Whereas if I'm looking for arguments against school uniforms, I might check this one out, schools urge to rethink uniforms, okay? And one thing I suggest, a tip for you, is use those highlights and notes features and pick a color for arguments in favor and pick a color for arguments against. If it were me, I would choose green for in favor, okay, and I would choose red for against, right? And that way it's just easy to see in your notes which arguments are in favor and which are against. It's a quick way, saves you some time when you're putting all of your research together for your project, okay? So viewpoints are going to be very similar to featured viewpoints. The difference is going to be just how much weight the Gale organization puts on the author of those viewpoints. So these are going to be a little bit more prestigious, but that doesn't mean you should ignore the regular viewpoints as well. All right, now let's skip to some of my favorite aspects of this database, the infographics and statistics. And you really might keep in mind this database for research that isn't about arguments, just because of these two. These two are great for any kind of research project, not just argumentative. So let's look at infographics, let's look at statistics, and we'll start with infographics. So here we can see some historical data about it. This one is just in Washington, D.C., so I might skip it, but I can look at this one, maybe, and let's see what it has. And right away, I can see different years, the percentage of schools that have school uniforms, and they break it down by living style. So we got city, suburb, town, and rural. And you can see when you hover over a different type, it kind of fades out the others and keeps it there. And so we see a clear relationship between population density and percentage of schools implementing school uniform policies. So that's an interesting fact that you might want to highlight in your research, okay? Some topics have a lot of infographics, some topics don't. This is actually kind of a low number of infographics. We also have statistics. Now, this is going to be less interactive than the infographics. You aren't going to get that cool fading feature, and you aren't going to have like multiple tabs, but that doesn't mean these are bad. They're still going to be often in a graphic form like this. You just can't change anything about it. It's just an image. But it still has really good stuff. This is more current than the one we just looked at, so it might be more useful to your research. Okay, but these are just some of the key categories that make this database really useful for your research, and I hope that you find it useful. All right, thanks guys, have a great day.